Thank you, everyone. Now, a key highlight of this conversation is that Katsina has the potential to lead northern Nigeria's digital economy. And I'm very proud to be from here. Thank you very much to our panelists and our audience. Thank you.
Okay, the panelists will step forward for a group picture. I'd like to invite His Excellency to join them on stage. Yes, please. Thank you, please. The Head of Service, DG Keeper, the Commissioner of Commerce, Economic Advisor. Excellencies, distinguished guests, I've been directed to inform everyone, including the members of the audience, that we are going to have a walking breakfast. This means that, well, we can call it a brunch. They are going to come in and serve it while we are seated, and the program will continue. And for those of us that are also interested, we have some food vendors also packed here. You can go around and see what you can pick for yourself. But refreshments are also in order, and they will be served appropriately. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, I'd like to invite quickly the Honorable Commissioner for Commerce, Industry and Tourism, Solid Minerals, Honorable Keikama Umar.
While we congratulate the government and the investing community in the state for successful hosting of this event, I wish to emphasize that the subsequent edition should be sustained with close intervals to facilitate appraisal and reshaping the way forward. Your effort and the determination in this direction, which defies the unfortunate disruption caused by the cowardly act of insurgency.
So whenever you have listened to these signals, when government officials speak, you take notes and then you take action on such signals, like procurement windows, subsidy programs, land utility projects. Look for value beyond money. Now, this kind of summits is not just about the funding, capital, and all what you have. There is value. There are things you can get more than the money, like skills partnerships. You can, as in market introductions, you can introduce your businesses to the dignitaries here. Technical assistance and pilot opportunities often matter as much as capital. Commit to follow through. A handshake is a start. A short email within 48 to 72 hours with the next steps turns possibilities into progress. Finally, I want to thank the organizers again and encourage everyone here, investors, entrepreneurs, youth, and community leaders to convert today's energy into concrete collaborations. May Allah bless every effort made here today, and may Katsina rise stronger, brighter, and unstoppable. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That was the founder, Katsina Inner Wheel Development, an NGO that is driving empowerment programs in supporting women in MSMEs. Thank you very much, Amina Zayana. Your Excellency, we are going to take the last panel for today. And the panel is on power and energy. And the title for this panel is Unlocking Subnational Energy Markets, Strengthening Public-Private Partnerships for Reliable, Affordable, and Sustainable Power in Northern Nigeria. And let me start by inviting the panelists. The first panelist is Mrs. Melissa Sikwila, Executive Vice President, Project Development and Investment, Genesis Energy Group. Please put your hands together for Mrs. Melissa. Next, I will invite Honorable Muzammil Muhammad Idris, the Executive Secretary of Zamfara State Electricity Agency. Please put your hands together for the Executive Secretary. And let me invite the representative of the MD, CEO of Kano Electricity Distribution Company, Engineer Hosseini Sadiq from KEDCO. And we also have Abdul Nanono, right? Deputy MD, KEDCO, Kano Hydroelectric Development Distribution Company. Thank you. And I have the privilege of moderating this panel. So please put your hands together for me, please. Thank you. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the panel. Distinguished guests and panelists and participants, it is my privilege to welcome you to this strategic conversation on unlocking subnational energy markets, strengthening public-private partnerships for reliable, affordable, and sustainable power in northern Nigeria. Across Nigeria, we are witnessing an important transformation from the era of centralized power under the NEPA, the famous NEPA, National Electric Power Authority, which we still can't escape, right? To the unbundling reforms of the Electric Power Sector Reforms Act, that's EPSRA 2005. And now to the Renewable Energy Policies of 2015 and the Electricity Act of 2023, which finally gives states the authority to generate, transmit, and distribute power. The landscape has fundamentally shifted, and states can electricity markets, attract private developers, and deliver localized, reliable energy solutions. In northern Nigeria, the opportunity is even more unique. Vast solar potential, untapped hydro resources, large unserved populations, and rising demand for agriculture, SMEs, and processing industries. And Katsina State, under the able leadership of His Excellency, is complementing this development with solar and storage investments, wind revival, and decentralized energy initiatives. Today's discussion is going to focus on critical questions on how do we build strong public-private partnerships that unlock subnational markets and deliver real affordable power to the people and businesses of northern Nigeria. On this panel, I think everyone has been introduced, so I'm going to skip that part. We're going to try to be as moderate as possible on how we deal with the timing when we are responding to questions. Hopefully, each respondent will take not more than 2 to 3 minutes for the first responses, and then perhaps maybe 1 minute for, and rounding up with a 30 seconds call to action. And if time permits, we might take some questions and answers. So I'm going to start with Kano Electricity Distribution Company. And the question goes, with the Electricity Act of 2023, enabling states to exercise direct Regulatory Authority. How does KEDCO envisage collaborating with the proposed joint Electricity Regulatory Commission of Katsina, Kano, and Jigawa to foster a coordinated, efficient, and commercially sustainable national electricity market? Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. The Executive Council of Katsina State, Chief of Staff representing the Excellency, the Governor, other executive members, Assalamu alaikum. As we are all aware, the Electricity Act that was signed by the President, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, which empowers the states to regulate electricity within the boundaries of the state. And to the question, the issue of joint regulatory, I think for us, KEDCO, we are one of the major proponents of having a sub-regional electricity regulatory sector. Seeing how can we have a regulatory agency that can regulate power within Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina State. If you look at our geographical and history, Kano, Jigawa, and Katsina State are basically mostly of the same family. So we felt, and one thing about electricity is a volumetric business. What I mean is the more power you take as an entity, the more beneficial it is to you as either individual or as a state. Collectively as a state, the volume of power that we take for the tri-states, the quantity, we had an economic summit. The volume, most of the investors on power are aware that the more volume of power you have on the plate, the more attractive you are to investors. And the issue of the tariff, most of us that are aware of how the tariff is calculated, the more volume of power that you take, the lesser the tariff that each customer will pay for electricity. So it is very, very important for these tri-states to stay together. And there's one thing also regarding Marito, what you call cross-subsidization, where huge consumption customers, like industrial customers, provide cross-subsidization for lower customers like residential areas or rural customers. So if you stay together as a whole, the volume of power has a more significant advantage. That is why KEDCO is pushing for the joint regulatory agency between the tri-states, and we have done a lot. Last month, there's a meeting that was held with all the 3 state governors and executive members in Marrakesh, Morocco, and also presently our management and co-investor is also have a meeting to see how we can come up with a regulatory act that will be beneficial to all the tri-states. So we are a proponent of this, and we felt we are stronger together than separated. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. KEDCO, that was a solid one. I believe we are better together. Like Baoshi says, right? They say if you go alone, you go fast, right? But if you go together, you go far. So thank you very much. Everyone is hoping for these tariffs to really come down. So I'm now going to go to the people that have the money, the investors. Mrs. Melissa. So the question is, from an investor's point of view, what key factors make a state-driven energy project truly bankable, right? And how do you think states can strengthen their investment readiness? Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think your question is a very pertinent question, and I only have 2 minutes, so I'll try to be succinct. The key anchor on investor readiness and bankability really is about our security in revenue generation. And that can be split into 3 main pillars. Ensuring that we have credible off-takers who are anchor users of electricity and have the buying power to continue to use the electricity. Whether you are selling to the state itself, whether you're selling to businesses within the state, or you're selling to our partners like KEDCO who are discos within the state. The ability to have some assurances that there is enough productive use for the power that we will generate and therefore for the money that we'll invest in. I think the second pillar for that is a cost-reflective tariff. And this is a bit of a controversial topic, but the reality is if we continue to shy away from cost-reflective tariffs, the alternative is not having power. Power requires significant amount of energy, and significant amounts of investment. Without having a cost-reflective tariff, you deter any and all investors. What happens is the investment doesn't come in, then the power doesn't come in, and what happens is even the industries that we're trying to motivate to come to Katsina, whether it's mining exploration, whether it's agro-processing zones, whether it's ensuring that we have a lot of industries in the green economic zone. If there is no power, there's no productivity. And if there's no cost-reflective tariff, there's no investors. And if there's no investors, there's no power. So it's all very intertwined, and I think that's another pillar. The final one, and I would say, is just regulatory stability. And I must commend the Katsina state government for being leaders in terms of regulatory stability and just being very innovative and very forward-thinking around what creates an enabling environment. Ambition without capital are dreams, and capital follows regulation and stability. So I think those are the two things, and from a Katsina perspective, quite frankly, it's very hard to fault what the Katsina state government is doing. It is a very investor-ready state, and this is why we are partnering with Katsina State.
Wow, thank you very much. And I also believe that is not to say that Zamfara is not investor-ready.
No.
I mean, friendly, quite frankly. So thank you very much for that apt and very eloquent response. We'll quickly move to Kano Hydroelectric. Abdul Jabbar, right? Yes. Mr. Abdul Jabbar, given that offtake risk and bankability remain major, I mean, you just heard what Melissa said, constraints. So what innovative mechanisms can state governments adopt to strengthen this credibility, the PPA credibility? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, ably represented by the Chief of Staff and the other State Executive Council members, permit me to stand on the already established protocols. So I'm coming from Kano Hydro and Energy Development Company, not electric. All right, thank you. So in terms of talking about bankability of projects and how to strengthen innovative ways of strengthening public-private partnerships, I think there's quite some number of a few models that have worked. Even in Kano, you can see setting up escrow accounts, and then you have waterfall payments, bringing up bankability of projects that have already existed. There's a 10 megawatts Husky power plant in Kano that has that arrangement. So the investor has that, he knows that he's going to get his money back signing those kind of agreements. So, and also the states have to also be innovative. I think the states also have to be bold enough in taking some risks because power investments they're quite risky and they're also rewarding. Once you get power to the people, once you get power to the state, it automatically results in employment opportunities because industries come up and then you have, so I think it's a risk worth taking, but the states also need to look at ways to minimize the risks, but they should also have it in mind that the risks will always be there. So you need to also just try and minimize the risks. And you've seen places where some special funds are kept, sync funds that are allocated to cater for shortfall in let's say
23 Electricity Act is, taking very ambitious plans, but still with, being pragmatic and being data-driven. So what we did initially is to establish a baseline for the data. What we did initially is to establish a baseline for the data. We carried out energy load assessments and enumeration so that we know where and when we need the most energy, who needs it and for what. Like she mentioned in her presentation, productive use. So the most important thing for us was to establish credible and bankable data that we will be able to use to build upon it, so that we would know that at so locations, we need this megawatts, and these are people that are using it for productive use. At these places, this is what we need. Because if you don't have that data, and every state now is rushing to take over regulation, I mean, those that have taken the regulation earlier are not too fast or too quick to do that. Those of us that have deliberately decided to wait and hold on and kind of follow it gently and slowly are not late to the party. I mean, we need to have, these candid, constructive conversations around taking over this regulation, because in as much as there are benefits, there are certain, implications and consequences for the states. So we are gradually looking at it and taking steps in the right direction. For example, we are right now developing our own state electricity policy and regulation, and this data we have taken is been fed into that policy to make sure that we have the right policies, and we don't want, just because, for example, Zamfara and Katsina are neighbors, and we share kind of maybe similar challenges and other things, we just can't come and copy and paste from Katsina. We want a document that is tailored, and speaks to the demands, earnings, and aspirations of the people and, of Zamfara State. So that is what we are doing, taking very, constructive view of the whole situation and taking data-driven decisions.
Wow, thank you very much. I believe this shows that there is intentional commitment from the Zamfara State government in terms of bridging the gaps in electricity challenges.
Yes.
And in turn, it's also going to help the region, right, meet its power and energy needs. So because of time, we can only be able to take only one question, but I will give a chance for a less than 1 minute, call to action based on the outlook of the sector. You see what is happening globally and also regionally, and now the states have these powers, based on all the current realities. What is your call to action, because there is a myriad in this mix. You have the policy people, you have the consumers, you have the regulators, and there are investors. So I believe some of you might want to have a call to action across board on this pyramid. So if you could speak to any of these stakeholders, what would be the message that you think can help us drive home? I'm going to start with Zamfara.
All right, thank you. To the distribution companies. With the emergence of the technology for renewable energy, most people or states tend to look at, let's take over this regulation so that we can deal with the DISCO, so that we can do away with them. And we all know that they provide the cheapest. What we are doing in Zamfara is to bring the DISCO close to us as a partner and work based on areas of comparative advantage and see how expenditure initially, and which will translate into lower tariffs and other things. And I like the fact that the states of Katsina, Jigawa, and Kano are coming together to come up with one regulator. Because you can imagine if we have different set of rules and regulations in Katsina, and we have or be deterred by having another set of rules in the next door. I propose that it's a good idea to have one regulator, or if you have multiple regulators, you have some sort of, for example, if Katsina State has hydro generation that is beyond its capacity, Zamfara could be able to utilize it and benefit from it. So these are some of the things we have, and I would like to...
Thank you very much, Zamfara. I think I'll take KEDCO last, because a lot of people think that KEDCO actually owes them apology for many things. Or maybe now is time you have an opportunity to speak to that. So, Melissa, you heard the question. Let's try to narrow down the response to the call to action and pick any actor across the value chain, please. Thank you.
I'll pick 3. Thank you, but I'll be succinct. I think the first call to action is to the state officials and the regulators. The enabling environment policies have already been put into place. I think the time is now for us to implement. So that's my call to action. Let us implement these policies transparently, and also for the state to have that first loss capital, whether it is providing permits for land, ensuring we've got a one-stop shop for regulatory licenses that are required. These are the things that investors want to see. To our fellow partners in Discos, I think my call to action is, as you said, together we are stronger, for us to really leverage on our collective strengths, Discos in distribution and transmission, and investors and IPPs in generation. And if we can come together and partner together, that's important. And last but not least, to all the businesses and investors in this room, Katsina is open for business, so come and invest. The power is here, the power is ready, and thank you once again for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Okay.
Thank you very much. Okay, I think my call to action will speak to the biggest challenge in the sector, which is the liquidity crisis. I think there needs to be a policy that says every customer should be metered. I think that addresses a very big issue in what the market is. And also, second, I think what has really not taken the media space is what the state governors have decided to do in terms of infrastructural development in the power sector, which was also part of what was done. And this will also address challenges in that area, partnering with the DISCO and ensuring we reduce AT, C, and C losses. And this will also strengthen investor confidence to come into our respective states. Thank you.
Thank you. Ketko. So we're rounding up. Remember, we have not more than 1 minute, please.
Okay, thank you so much. I think my fellow panelists have mentioned the issue of collaboration, and I'm happy they recognize that the DISCO plays a very, very important role in this collaboration. I agree with what Melissa said. She touched all the stakeholders. So my call to action is the recognition that the power sector is actually a value chain, and each entity within the power sector is a professional in that field and has a role to play. Just like how electricity flows from the generating plant through the transmission lines to the distribution lines to your transformer to the wire that supplies power to the house, it's a chain. It's any weakness in the chain affects the entire value chain, like the liquidity issue he mentioned, like the cost-reflective tariff the investors are looking for. Why? Because it's an investment, and I agree with her. If the project is not viable, if the investor realizes that he doesn't get the required return on an investment, he's not going to invest. That is why they are calling for cost-reflective tariff. I agree, electricity, if you look at over time, people see it more or less like a social service. But in this generation, electricity is actually a business. And for it to be sustainable, you should be able to sustain the infrastructure that provides that electricity. And also the investors that will bring in their money to get the right return. So we have to work collectively the way the electricity flows, all the power players within the sector, from the financiers like Melissa and co, the generating companies, the transmissions, redistribution, the government. I want to say that the government is very, very important because they provide the necessary policies, the framework, and the confidence for investors to actually come in and bring in the right laws. Then the populace, the customers have a very, very important role to play. One thing we have to understand about the value chain is that for every single electron of electricity that flows out to the customer, it is only the customer that provides the revenue for this entire value chain. So if one single customer do not pay for the electricity he has consumed, that affects everybody within the value chain. For us distribution companies, in the entire revenue collected, around less than 25% is what comes to us.
Okay, let's round up.
The entire money goes back to service the entire. I wish I have more time so that because people will understand how the value chain is. But I'm very happy Katsina has taken this giant stride. And we're happy to collaborate. We're already collaborating with Katsina State in, as is excellently measured yesterday, where they're looking at 25 megawatts. We're also playing role. We have some developers that we're already working with to support the Katsina State government, and us as a company and our core investor, Future Energy Africa. We're looking at having embedded generation power around 150 megawatts between now and end of 2027. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you very much, my dear panelists and the listeners. Your Excellency, we thank you for indulging us. This is the last and final panel, and we thank you. Also wish that these conversations will continue. I mean, with Zamfara giving a proposal to Genesis Energy, and thank you very much. And this comes to the end of the panel. So we'll now take the group picture and then go to the next item. Your Excellency. I'll now hand over to the Director General, Katsina Investment Promotion Agency, to facilitate the signing of MOU. Thank you.
Thank you very much, MC. Thank you very much, Your Excellency, ably represented here. Ladies and gentlemen, yesterday we have signed MOU and then we have done business announcements. Today we are taking the last MOU during the summit, and then subsequently we'll be taking others in our offices. Right now we are signing an MOU with IPNX. It's a communication company that will do fiber optics deployment in Katsina and provide services. They have two representatives, Mr. Olu and your company, and then Malam Abba Sambo, the general manager of Katsina Urban Regional Development Board, come forward and do this exercise now. We are going to execute an MOU costing how much? 2 billion naira. Yes, thank you.
Excellency, we will listen to a brief remark from Mr. Olushola Teniola from IPNX. Please put your hands together for Mr. Olu. He has brought so much money to our state.
Good afternoon to you all. I'm happy to be here. But first of all, I want to say that Katsina is a lovely state. And I would like to stand on existing protocols. Yesterday, as my brother has alluded, we missed our flight from Abuja to Katsina. But we're happy we went on the road because seeing is believing. And we see great potential for partnership with Katsina State. IPNX is a fiber to the home company. We have 22,000 live homes connected within the country, and we have 4,600 enterprise customers. We are so happy that we are here to invest. I see my honorable commissioner will be coming for rights of ways, and we'll be paying you a token because we really believe in digital infrastructure, not only to enhance the education of those that are in schools, but also to create employment. So we've seen in examples of other states where we deployed this technology. In the southeast, we have done quite a bit, and we're very happy to come to the north. In fact, I must say, Katsina is the first state. So thank you. Thank you for having us. I will be back. So look forward to working with you and partnering with you. Thank you very much.
Katsina is not your home. Katsina is your home.
It's my second home now.
Okay, let's take the group picture, please. Your Excellency, before we invite you for His Excellency's address and the vote of thanks, I'd like to invite the Chairman, Katsina Exporters Forum, and the also Chief Executive of Everglades, Alhaji Ahmad Abdulmumini, for a goodwill. Please, Alhaji Ahmad Abdulmumini, the Chairman, Everglades, is one of the foremost investors in Katsina State. I think he has a leather factory. Please, Alhaji Ahmad. He will do it on his behalf. Okay.
Your Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, ably represented by the Chief of Staff, Honorable Commissioners here present, may I now stand on the existing protocols. The Chairman of Everglades Associates, Alhaji Ahmed Al-Lumini, is unavoidably absent. But I am here to also, on behalf of his company and the Funtua Bricks, warm appreciation for the reception according to us by Katsina State government. In particular, the government has directed that Funtua Brick Works is producing quality burnt bricks. And the government has directed that most government projects are now going to be used burnt bricks. Similarly, Everglades Associates are producing quality packing fertilizer and so on. So he has also directed that the government is looking into how to patronize his products. Number 3, Ambassador Ahmed Rafai, Saronang Katsina, to extend his appreciation for the invitation to them to attend this important event. He has set up a state-of-the-art flour mill at the outskirts of Katsina here. It has of 100 tons of flour, maize flour per day. In addition, they are also producing about 1,000 liters of yogurt per day. He also has a cattle ranch, goat ranch, sheep ranch at the outskirts of Katsina. The ranch have the capacity to rear about 3,000 heads.
Umar Radda, ably represented by the Chief of Staff, the Head of Service Staff, the Head of Service, members of the State Executive Council, the Executive Chairman of local governments, the representatives of the state governments across the 36 states, representatives of our 6 states, representatives of our royal fathers, the state investors and captain of industries, the security agencies here, the press, and all other distinguished persons here present. Assalamu alaikum. I'm not going to say much because they say the fewer the words, the more surgical and precise the message. Ideas meet implementation. So I want to use this opportunity to express our deepest appreciation to His Excellency, the Governor of Katsina State, Malam Dikko Umar Radda, for his dedication and selfless service to our dear state, Katsina. I watched a clip recently where His Excellency is asked of the legacies he wants to leave behind. And he answers by saying one of those legacies is that he wants to change the mindset of the people of our dear state and also change the way people outside view Katsina, people outside the state view Katsina. So I want to politely say to the Chief of Staff, that if you get a chance to talk to His Excellency after this event, tell His Excellency that not only in this sector, economic and investment sector, but in all other sectors, a legacy is already built and is left. Because 489 billion naira is not a small amount of money. 489 billion is a very big sum of money. That's what we have achieved from yesterday to this day when we started this event. So I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to His Excellency, the Governor, for making this event happen. And to our distinguished investors and captain of industries, we say thank you for your presence here. Your presence here confirms that you see what we see. That Katsina is the next frontier of profitability in Nigeria. We thank you for your trust. To our development partners, thank you for standing by Katsina. And then to the organizing committee, thank you so much for this wonderful job you have done. And I want to say that our doors are open, our processes are streamlined, and our resolve is absolute. We will not let the momentum of this summit die in this hall. We will meet you in the boardrooms, on construction sites, and in the marketplace to deliver results. And finally, I have a very strong message to the business community. And I think because of the truth and conviction of this message, I will say it in Hausa. The message is that wallahi malam duko da gaske yake and Katsina is ready. Duk abin da aka faɗa a nan wurin gaskiya ne, ba mun yi kawai don mu tara mutane ba, abin da aka faɗa gaskiya ne. So to all the investors that are willing to invest in Katsina, we are ready for your investments. And finally, I want to acknowledge Khalil, Nur Khalil, I think come forward. Khalil, no, come forward, come forward. And the DG Keeper for their... DG Keeper, please come forward. They have done extremely well. And all the things you have seen here is one, God, the second is Excellency, and third, the efforts of these two not so young people. This is so young, but this is, you understand. And the last message, the very strong message I want to send to the world is, I think, I know, Honorable Commissioner Land, please, SA Education, please come forward. Kajis, please come forward. Naufal, where's Naufal? SA. Is Naufal not around? REB, I've seen him here. Okay, they went out back. So the young faces you've seen here is something many other subnationals are struggling and agitating to have, this youth inclusion. I believe this is a reality in Katsina. By the faces you've seen here, it sends a strong message to the world that Katsina is changing. And the future that His Excellency has pledged to build through his slogan, build a future in Katsina, that future is already built because His Excellency has a team of vibrant youths that are ready to use the last drop of all they have to see Katsina is built and being popped up for the world to see. Thank you so much, and may God bless all of you. And we are thank you so much.
Well done, well done, well done.
Your Excellency, I believe you can see the energy and passion by the young people in government of your administration. If you will indulge me, Your Excellency, I would like to give just a few minutes to the economic advisor to say a few things, and then we'll invite you for your remarks, sir. Please put your hands together to Khalil Nur Khalil, the economic advisor to His Excellency.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. You have just heard our amiable, youngest commissioner in Katsina State. Please put a round of applause, please, for Commissioner Commerce. Ladies and gentlemen, today what we're witnessing in Katsina State is just a start. There is an ongoing revolution within the Umar Diko administration. And what is this revolution? It is a change within the mindset. It is a change within the business community. Since I came to Katsina, a lot of people have been calling me Yara Name Turenchi. And when you invite someone, so today, I would like to indulge all those people to please kuma ku koyi turancin nan. Saboda this turanci, that is where the world is going. Ko muna so a baro mu bayani jama'a? Ko a'a? Thank you. So please, I would like to urge all the young entrepreneurs, the older generation, let us come together. Let us put our heads together. The world is moving away. The world is moving fast. We need to be able to sit down, create a globally competitive subnational economy. Wallahi, by the time this tax administration reforms come into place, every single state is going to be on its own. We need to generate economic activities. We need to make sure that people are able to get jobs. All these challenges we're facing, insecurity, we're facing youths that have no jobs, etc. It is because we are not entering and venturing into entrepreneurship. You see me here, I'm in government. I'm in a very privileged position. But wallahi, every day I pray to God, Ya Allah, Allah, sa in jail para kasuwanci nima and para kudi. That is just the honest truth. Cool? And I'd like to continue to indulge everybody here in government. Please, be responsive. Know that you are serving the public. It is called public service for a reason. We serve you. You are our boss. My albashi comes from you, the taxpayers' money. So I am at your service, okay? We need to change and reorient this mindset. So once again, I would like to thank all my colleagues here. I'd like to thank the sponsors, Constrix, Fairmont Shark, KK Kingdom, who else? Hey, I've chopped their money and I forgot their names. QD, that's the Inner Wheel Initiative. Cool? Hadia Amina, thank you very much. Corridors Capital as well. Thank you very much for your support. And thank you very much to all the businessmen that came today. I hope today you spoke the English, you met the right people, and after today we're going to go and begin to do what everyone here else wants us to do, which is we're going to commission projects, we're going to do groundbreakings, and we're going to show the world that we are actually doing what we say we are doing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much. Invest in the future, invest in Katsina State. Thank you.
Thank you very much, the economic advisor. And now, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, partners and sponsors, speakers, members of the State ESCO, it is my singular honor and privilege to invite to the podium His Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, Malam Diko Umaru Radda, PhD, CON, who is heavily and ably represented by the Chief of Staff to Katsina State Government, Honorable Abdul Qadir Mamman Nasir, for his remark. Please put your hands together and let's escort him with an applause to the stage to wrap up the program. Thank you very much.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'd love to stand on the already established protocol. And before I speak, I would like this gathering to know that I do not have for the best of development to reach every nook and corner in the creation of states. So I'll use this opportunity to further call on their excellencies, our governors of the Northwest first, that we have common boundaries, we have common ideologies, to a very large extent, common norms, ways of dressing, food we eat, color of skin, and the level of education that we all have. I'm glad that we have come out of that shackle of hoisting the not too intelligent amongst us to represent or to govern us. It has shown from the caliber of people that delivered speeches here, that presented papers here, that we are beginning to pick the best of us to lead in positions of leadership. I congratulate the youths that came in as representatives and that are occupying very vital and important positions in their various states, right from Kebbi through to Sokoto and Zamfara, and of course Katsina, which happens to be the cradle of modern education in the north. So we're not surprised that we have produced people like Khalil and Ibrahim Tukur Jikamshi that could arrange such a spectacle here today. And of course, the people that came from Kano and Jigawa and Kaduna have shown that all these states are talking and acting in sync. The time has come for us to not only immortalize some of the actions of the late President Muhammadu Buhari when he signed into law the Not Too Young to Run bill. He did it with a purpose. He knew the caliber of people that Katsina then had, Kano had, Zamfara had, Sokoto and Kebbi, and of course, Jigawa had. These are people that can lead the nation out of the doldrums that we are suffering today. When the Yobe State Commissioner was speaking, you could see that he highlighted the mineral resources that are abundant and prevailing in Yobe. And if you have listened carefully, and if you have looked into the document that Keeper had produced, they happen to be almost the same solid minerals that abound in Katsina. So it means you can say comfortably that the whole of northern Nigeria is lying on solid minerals. So governors of northern Nigeria, the Northern Governors Forum, this is a challenge also for all of us to open discussion, promote prospections of solid minerals, and develop a concept, a framework, a manual that can harness the potentials of having these minerals in our states. Lastly, I would like to thank all the people that came for this gathering, especially the former, is it MD of Kadipa. You have raised a word of caution that Katsina should at least try to promote not more than 5 things and maybe not less than 3 things of comparative advantage that we could develop into fruition. While I totally agree with your submission, but the fact remains that if you're organizing such a spectacle, you need to at least bring out all the potentials of the state. The state may not be the operator or the sole financier of all the things that the state can go into. But when you have investors and people that could be partners and that are willing to be partners in the development of 1 or 2 sectors, the state does not have to be a player financially in such things. But we can provide enabling environment, which I think Katsina has already provided. The Commissioner Lands has buttressed what it takes to process land and land holding in Katsina. It will not take you more than 4 weeks. Once paperwork has been done, the cartridges and the Urban and Regional Planning Board, and of course the Ministry of Lands and Physical Planning, will go into work, and you could have a certificate in as minimum as 28 days. I thank you very much for coming. We'll miss your going, but invitation is open. each and every participant here is welcome back to Katsina anytime, any day. But of course, if you are coming back, if you have not come here today with an investment, please try and come back with 1 or 2 investments. The young gentleman and lady that participated in the technology chat have shown the world and have shown participants of this program that the way to go is technology. You cannot escape it. They have shown that you need to have the right and correct data before you could arrive at any meaningful, planned, successful endeavor. This number of young people you see that are all extracts of Katsina are just a tip of the iceberg, and they are not the best of the lot. The ones that are doing the technology hubs and the CADIC DG, and of course, the national president of the Computer Association are all extracts of Katsina and homebred. The ones that have run away, that have jackpot to other places, we cherish them, we acknowledge them. They have not run away for good. They have run away, they did not even run away actually. They have gone to export the potential of Katsina. And the government is ready and willing to promote where our young people will have ideas, nurture them, and bring them out to fruition. The government is ready to help them to export them to other places. I thank you once again very much for attending this spectacle, and I pray that Allah in His wisdom and mercy will take each and every one of you safely back to your destinations. Thank you very much. May God bless you all.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Your Excellency. It may also interest you to know that the MC is a computer scientist by profession. But I have chosen to contribute in other means by speaking. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, please let's rise for the national anthem. Thank you. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, partners and sponsors and the organizers, thank you very much. It has been a delight hosting the Katsina Economic Summit. I would like to remind the participants that we have exhibition stalls right at the back of this hall, and food vendors, exactly. Anybody that is interested to, get some chops or buy something to please your appetites, kindly visit the food vendors behind the hall here. We'll also indulge some of the dignitaries to go around and see the food vendors and see what they have to bring to the table. Thank you very much, and bye for now. Of challenge and opportunity, of our proud history and our boundless future. If you look around and see the faces in this room, one imagines the thousands more joining us from across the globe through our digital platforms. We are all connected today by one powerful, urgent question. what is the future of Katsina's economy?
Your Excellency, despite macroeconomic challenges such as unemployment, inflation, and structural deficits, Katsina State, under your leadership, is deliberately repositioning itself on a trajectory of economic competitiveness, structural transformation, and sustainable long-term growth, leveraging the challenges as catalysts for innovation and inclusive development.
Despite the many challenges we have faced in the past, I stand before you today with a renewed sense of optimism regarding Katsina State's current trajectory under the visionary leadership of Governor Doko Umar Radda. His administration has demonstrated not only courage, but also an unwavering commitment to making difficult yet necessary decisions that promise to reshape the state's economic landscape. The very act of convening this investment summit is a powerful testament to an intentional and forward-thinking leadership. It signals a readiness to engage with stakeholders, harness ideas, and translate discussions into tangible outcomes. I'm confident that the insights and recommendations that will emerge from this gathering will not only be heard, but will be transformed into concrete actions. That, in turn, is what will lead to the strengthening of the economic foundation of Katsina State and ultimately pave way for its sustainable prosperity.
So, Your Excellency, the first question is, how are you addressing rural security, particularly in agricultural zones where investors would need to operate farms, processing facilities, and logistics networks? What assurances can you provide to agribusiness investors concerning their security fears?
Honestly, you have raised a very fundamental question. When it comes to investment, there must be security. And as you are rightly aware, that Katsina State, when we took over, about 24 of our local governments are under siege by this insurgency and what have you. But first of all, we understand the fact that you cannot address the insecurity without involving the community. So a local approach to the insecurity is one of the major factors that we have considered as government to tackle the insecurity challenges in our state. We created what we call in the first 5 months of our administration, Katsina State Community Watch Corps. As I speak to you today, we have graduated the first, second, and third batch with over 2,500 young able men that were trained, equipped with all assets. It makes it easier for them to address the challenges.
Confidence in Katsina State is an emerging economic and industrial hub for northern Nigeria and the wider Sahel, and confidence in what the private sector and government can achieve together when there is clarity of purpose.
That contributed leading up to this event.
We came to Katsina not only because we are indigenous, but because Katsina is the first state in Nigeria to open its arms and embrace us, and we found the ease of doing business very accommodating and encouraging.
As someone rooted in this soil and deeply familiar with the resilience and entrepreneurial spirit of our people, it is this connection to the people, their energy, their pride, and their hunger for opportunity.
The Funtua Inland Dry Port, FIDP, is a reality. A federal government gazetted port of origin and final destination, an operational platform designed to decongest the seaports, lower logistics costs, and connect producers in Katsina, Zamfara, Sokoto, Kebbi, and Kaduna, as well as our neighboring countries of Niger and Chad, to markets around the world.
Many people ask me, why football? Truth is, football is more than a sport. It is an economic powerhouse which symbolizes unity, ambition, and shared destiny. It inspires the young, strengthens communities, and reminds us that talent and brilliance can rise from anywhere, including here in Katsina. That same belief in possibility is what today's summit represents. Your Excellency, I want to acknowledge the deliberate steps your administration is taking to reshape the economic landscape of this state. The theme of this summit, Building the Future of Katsina's Economy, perfectly captures where we stand today at a defining moment in the story of our state.
Good morning, everybody. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Katsina State, distinguished guests, esteemed investors, development partners, and my dear brothers and sisters, we are very honored and privileged to come here. Our total investment is USD $80 million here.
Assalamu alaikum. I represent the monitoring aviation fuel distributors in so many airports, and I'm happy. One of the doings of aviation industry in Nigeria is CITES, and it's from this state. We invested about 1.6 billion naira to open up aviation fuel farm in Katsina, to open up the Katsina airport for schedule and charter flights, to open up Katsina airport for international operations, and to ease Hajj operations, inshallah.
I'm the Group Managing Director of Coco Group and Safe Space Energy. We have started the investment in Katsina for several years.
That's about 120 billion naira. Then ABIS that we have signed, Your Excellency, is for 50 million US naira, about 75 billion for sophisticated and modern abattoir in Katsina. Dara Ahlan Group, with our able brother, is investing 5 million US dollars. Gold Energy, that they have already closed their business in Katsina and they have started operating, is in the sum of 1.5 billion naira that he has announced just now. Then there is Quanstrix 2 that we want to announce for 500 million naira, and they will launch their JC just now. The Global Innovation Lab, we have signed for 3.5 million US dollars. So, Your Excellency, altogether today we have an investment announcements, and most of them have already realized already. But what I want to tell the public and the people of Katsina is that all the MOUs here are backed by responsibilities, timelines.
To state and overemphasize that we must qualify in the culture of the country. And I must say and confess, Your Excellency, you are scouting for talent, is really second to His Excellency President Bola Ahmed this year back. Commitment, fight in the state, knowledge, and resilience to stand at any time to address and stand for the state. I must congratulate you for doing that.
It is with immense pride and heartfelt gratitude that I stand to welcome you this historic gathering, the inaugural Katsina State Economic and Investment Summit. Today marks more than a conveying of minds. It represents a de facto inflection point in the economic trajectory of the northern Nigeria and indeed our great country, Nigeria. We stand at the threshold of transformation. The Katsina State is not merely opening its door to capital, it is extending an invitation to partnership, to share vision, and to collective enterprise. We invite those who see investment not solely as a financial transaction, but as a catalyst for human progress, those who believe that sustainable prosperity is to build not on extraction, but on empowerment. Katsina State is a land state in legacy, a cradle of civilization where ancient city walls echo centuries of scholarship, trade, resilience, and impunity. Long before modern borders were drawn, our ancestors pioneered trans-Saharan African trade, established centers of Islamic learning, and cultivated agricultural system of remarkable sophistication. That spirit of enterprise forged a crucible of history remains alive in the hands of our farmers, the minds of our youth, and the heart of our communities. Yet, as we honor our past, we gather today, not for nostalgia, but for navigation. We are here to chart a bold, ambitious, and inclusive future from one which Katsina State emerged as.
Today, we gather here, both in this room and across digital frontiers, not merely for a conference, but for a convergence of vision and capital.